feeling like I'm Akademiks. Can't ride away.
Like, these days MAGA stands for two different things, right? It don't stand for Make America Great no more, because I don't even know if they're doing that no more. MAGA stands for two things. Make Atlanta great again. Atlanta, okay? Atlanta's down bad. So MAGA now means make Atlanta great, okay? We got to figure out how to make them great. I seen an announcement. Did y'all see this? Big Bank. He's like the Atlanta mayor. He's interviewed, the Gunners, the 21 Savages, the Lil Woody's. He's a guy who does a really good job. A guy comes from the streets, but he has some, some smarts, some wits to him. I'm even gonna lie to you. He came out recently and he said, yo, fuck it. It's time for me to interview 6ix9ine. And I was just like, shout out to Atlanta, man. I think Atlanta is realizing everybody, half of Atlanta is ratting. So but they don't know how to do it right. You see, at least when 6ix9ine did the ratting, like 6ix9ine did it with some style, some finesse. 6ix9ine was, king rat. The Atlanta dudes, they're breaking all the rat codes. And Big Bank is going to be interviewing 6ix9ine seemingly. I've never hit up 6ix9ine this quick when I seen this post. Big Bang said, I need y'all to tag 6ix9ine. I need to interview him. I call 6ix9ine directly. I said, yo, they just picked you to give the state of Atlanta address. Yes. The biggest Atlanta podcast will have Tekashi 6ix9ine sitting up there talking politics within the city. He's going to help decipher and break down the hypocrisies. He'll let you know if King Spider told. He'll let you know what he think about Gunna. He's going to break the whole city down. And apparently, that's where we are in the culture in the world. Tekashi 6ix9ine has been summoned to Atlanta. Make Atlanta great again. Make Atlanta great again. Make Atlanta great again. That's the new MAGA. Make Atlanta great again. Could we do it, please? Could we do it? There's nothing moving out of Atlanta except the rappers who have figured out that gangsta music won't work, so they're all making Get Ready With Me music, okay? That's all that's popping. It's a bunch of Miss Trendsetter and replicas of those that's working. No more gangsta music. It's too crazy. It's too. Every week another interrogation tape. Every week somebody's giving a cop their number. It's Atlanta's in shambles. Never seen this before. Never seen it before. I don't hate Atlanta. How the fuck I hate Atlanta? I like Atlanta, actually. I think Atlanta, let me clarify because, maybe people do think I hate Atlanta. No, I don't. Atlanta has to go through what everybody else goes through. Unfortunately, Atlanta came across like they were too thuggish and too tough at a point during the snitching pandemic. And they act like they were above the fray and they were the examples to set of real street niggas. We have now found out they're the worst examples. And this is what I'm saying. Nobody hates Atlanta. But for the next year or so, they got to take a lashing. I'm sorry. If you're from Atlanta, for the next year or so, y'all going to take a lashing. You're the butt of every joke. Atlanta is the butt of every joke for the next year. There's going to be a couple new rappers that's really on that shit, really about that life. They're going to come and switch up the feng shui. Don't you worry. Nobody's just hating Atlanta. Like, nobody would. Atlanta's a great place. But for right now, Atlanta's cooked. Deep fried is over. But it's coming back soon. And this is a good time for all the young rappers in Atlanta. This is your time to change. Like, the narrative about Atlanta right now, I don't know. Just leave Hartsfield Jackson Airport and leave a bunch of rat traps. You probably catch half the rappers. You don't know what's going on. I ain't gonna lie. The jokes write themselves. I'm sorry. Nobody hates Atlanta. It's just that Atlanta rappers used to be mad vocal about telling, and nobody want to talk about telling no more. So, yeah, of course, it's hypocritical. But it's going to take like a year, maybe two. So Atlanta is going to be the butt of all jokes. By the way, New York was the butt of all jokes for a while. When Tekashi first, ratted, right, in 2020, people were like, yo, these New York niggas, da-da-da-da. Yeah. New York was, people had all the jokes. At New York, the place, if you've ever been in New York City, It's filthy. It's infiltrated with actual rats. Rodents run through the streets. They grab pizza and run into the fucking, the subway, and they're fucking running into the sewers and stuff like that. It's really that nasty. So you see a lot of rats. So then when you have a Tekashi 6ix9ine, the jokes write themselves, right? And it happened for years. And niggas in New York had to live with that. And matter of fact, you know how they actually cope with that? Most of New York went so anti 6ix9ine to show and prove that they don't believe in what he did. Atlanta is going through their own snitch gate. And here's the problem with them. They don't want to do what New York did. Yo, there's nobody in New York. There's no rappers, because fans still love 6ix9ine. There's no rappers in New York that's like, nah, man, like, nah, we rock. No, they blanketly was like, yo, ostracized. Like, get him out of here. 6ix9ine lives in Florida, right? The difference is Atlanta, they're going through their snitch gate right now, and their whole thing is, hold on, snitching work different here. Gunna's a snitch, but that nigga right there, he ain't snitch. He just said too much, but that's our guy. We fuck with him. We could sweep this up. It's just funny. That's it. So nobody hates Atlanta. I don't want people to think that we hate Atlanta. But the Atlanta thing is different from New York. New York made a very blanket statement. We not fucking with 6ix9ine as the street guys, blah, blah, from New York. Atlanta, because it's so many of them accused of telling, they don't know what to. Yo, it's like, you ever seen that meme? No, it's not a meme. It's a video on I've seen it on YouTube. It's a nasty video where like the rats are running from like under some like hole, and they run onto the sticky thing, and you're like, damn, how many rats are there? That's what Atlanta's going through. Atlanta's just in denial about what they're going through. You know what I mean? So they keep acting like they're not going through what New York went through. No, y'all are going through it. So that's the only thing. So, it might last a little bit longer than New York, because I don't think that they have cohesion. And this interview is going to prove exactly that. When Atlanta needs to interview the New York rat to kind of still, Big Bank podcast popped off because of the idea and the topic of snitching in Atlanta. Let's be honest. By the way, he's a good interview. I'm not knocking him. But that's why he popped off. He interviewed Thug. He interviewed Savage about Make the Streets Great. He interviewed Woody. He interviewed like all these people. And essentially now he's interviewing 6ix9ine. The conversation of snitching in Atlanta is just not going away. You know why? Because there's no cohesive thing in Atlanta. So again, I think it's going to go away 1 to 2 years. But for the 1 to 2 years, Atlanta, y'all street music is cooked. I'm sorry. Right now, like when you hear a nigga from Atlanta talk all that killing and spinning, you're like, okay, when do you start telling though? What part of the plot is that one? You know what I mean? So they'll get their little licks from like, social media clowning for like the next year or two. But then people move on. Like, no one hates Atlanta, right? No one hates Atlanta. It is what it is. Somebody says, talk about OTF Jam. OTF Jam. Somebody said Drake and Game linked up. How you know they linked up? Y'all just be saying stuff.